Good morning, beloveds. It is Sunday morning, which means my alarm went off at 6, and today I ignored my alarm. It went off, and about 6:20, I woke up, and I woke up with a cat's back foot across my throat, and and I looked at the clock, and I went, I have to leave the house in 15 minutes. Oops. It actually took me 20 minutes to get out, so we were a couple of minutes late for the gym session, but not a big deal. Fortunately, it was Sunday morning. There's nobody behind us, and he has a little more time, so he didn't even notice. And we went 6 minutes over, and he was fine with that. I'm getting closer to the ab work. It's been interesting, but in this journey that now that I'm actually feeling better and have more energy, and I put Tom through the ringer when he came home last night, because I had done the work that needed to be done so that we could move some furniture. And so Tom come home so he goes to the park with me in the morning, and then I have the day off to do whatever, which was go through dusty paperwork. I had to take my question last night. And then he comes home, and then we literally rearrange furniture. And unfortunately, I'm about to do something that I don't want to do. I'm going to throw a bookshelf away. The question is am I going to wait and throw the bookshelf away when I move am I going to wait and buy a new bookshelf to replace the one that I need to throw away? Or am I just going to go ahead and throw, I don't know. It's a bookshelf. It's very hard for me to throw bookshelves away. Just like it's very hard for me to let go of books. So, but it's gotta go. It's gotta go. So, which is probably why I overslept, because rearranging furniture last night. But it is January 22nd. Our title is I Am. Our first quote is a very long one. It's probably one that you know. And Moses said unto God, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, the God of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they shall say unto me, what is its name? What shall I say unto them? And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And that is Exodus 3:13-14. The second quote is, I am. What more can I say? I am. It is enough. And that is Science of Mind, page 368. Have you ever been so upset that you temporarily forgot every spiritual principle that you ever learned? The Science of Mind teaches us that there is one mind, and because that mind knows only perfection, no thought of depression, fear, or lack can flow through it. And yet, when I am feeling alone and depressed, I don't always remember this truth. The other day, I was feeling particularly sorry for myself. My friend approached me and told me something I shall never forget. Rainbow, she said. An orange is always an orange. Even when it's green, its orangeness never changes. And we are always the I am, no matter what our state of mind may be, my friend continued. When we are depressed, we are still the I am. When we are afraid, we are still the I am. When we are joyous, compassionate, sleeping, or dying, we are still the I am. We can never be anything else. God, the I am, is everywhere equally present. That means that God within me, the I am, is always expressing through me. I can never be other than the I am. Today, when I smile, the I am smiles. When I sleep, the I am is sleeping. And when I am depressed or angry, that is also the I am. It could be none other. There is only one. It is all the I am. The I am in me lovingly greets the I am in you. Today, I consciously live the I am every minute. And that is Rainbow Johnson. So we've had 2 Rainbow Johnsons in a row. So, an orange is always an orange, even when it's green. Its orangeness never changes. Woo! Reverend Jesse's been on that kick lately. It started over the summer where he was talking about getting to know ourselves. Like, who are we? At a fundamental level. Like, if we want to get down to a molecular level or an atomic level or even a quantum level, who are we? What are we? And the principle of science of mind is that we are spirit. We are spirit expressing in a material plane. We are spirit expressing having a human experience. We are spirit expressing having a human experience that it couldn't have without us. That is the fundamental truth of who we are. Now, the material plane is messy and confusing, and occasionally we forget who we are. Occasionally the people around us forget who we are. I think that's one of those things about being conscious, sentient. If you look at the cat that's walking out of the room right now, do you think that cat ever forgets that it's a cat? Maybe. Living with human beings has changed the fundamental nature of cats. But I don't think it ever forgets at a fundamental level that it is a cat. So its I amness is, but we can add so many layers onto the I am that we are. And it's one of the more profound things that I've heard said, and many people have said it, including Reverend Jesse. Be very careful of the words that follow the I am, because you're telling the universe who you are. So, and it's one of the reasons why I make an effort to switch my language. I try not to say I am depressed or I am, whatever these other things are. I'm trying to say I'm experiencing, because being depressed or being in pain, that's not fundamentally who I am. I still am, a beloved child of God. I still am spirit in motion. I may be experiencing these things, but it's not who I am. It's not my, as she says, it's not my orangeness. Even when I'm green, I'm still orange. That's the fundamental level of me. And so sometimes, and actually frequently, it's a good idea to do it regularly. It's a good idea to go in and strip off all of the layers, all of the layers that the material world puts on us. All of the layers that society and culture and religion and gender roles and all of that, to strip all that away and to look at ourselves naked in the mirror, naked in the reflection. Who are we? Who are we? If we strip all of this away, who are we? And if you're not happy with who you see in the mirror, then I would question what you believe about God. What is your relationship about God? And then go back there, because that would be where your work is. And again, we're going to strip away the layers. We're going to strip away the layers about what society and culture and religion and gender has told you about God, and go back to the I am. And then we can start anew. And so the point of regular spiritual practice is exactly that, to strip away the layers. Occasionally we need to sandblast them off, especially if it's been a while. And so if we do our spiritual practice regularly, then the layers don't build up. And that the point of classes and workshops and retreats is exactly that. It's to make that effort to strip away all of those layers and get back to the very basic I am. I mentioned I mentioned quantum, and so you've got, I went molecular to atomic to, then you can get down and positron, neutron, electron, and then you can get down to quarks, and then you can go even further and go that the photon, and that there's one photon. There's not millions of photons, billions of photons, in more numbers than I can even think, conceptualize. There's one photon. Just like there's one God, one spirit, one patterning intelligence that everything is made from. Everything's made from that photon. And that's where quantum physics really can blow your mind. And so that's what we want to strip back to. And then live from that. And we can choose the layers that we want to put back on. What coat is it that we want to wear? We can choose. And that's one of the things that I'm enjoying about society and, where the world is going. And a couple of generations behind me, I'm firmly Gen X. That's just who I am. And I'm okay with that. There's some interesting things about being Gen X, but it's interesting to watch, the millennials and the Gen Zs and what have you, where they have just completely rejected some of these cultural norms and said no. And they put them on and take them off like garments. And I'm like, you know what? That's the kind of world I want to live in. I want to live in a world where you can be who you are. And if today you want to wear black and be goth, you can. And if tomorrow you want to wear pink and be a sparkly princess, you can. And it doesn't matter what, and that's the really cool. So when you follow up the I am with whatever it is, the universe is always listening. And I appreciate that there's the younger generations are willing to honor that and be who they are, regardless of what anybody has told them that they should be. They are not willing to allow the older generations to shit on them. And I love it. So, what Rainbow said today, if you want a mission, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is that very last line she has in her treatment. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to consciously live from the I am every minute. And I know what I'm asking. I know that we're going to have those moments where we forget who we are. And we're going to have those moments where it seems like we're just wearing too many coats in the room. And then we are going to remember who we are. And we're going to shed the coats that don't fit us anymore and move on and live consciously from that I am. And when we do that, we give other people permission to live from their I am. So that's the mission today. It's the same mission every day. The words may be a little different. The application may be a little different, but that's what it is. To know who we are, to live from that I am, and to do it consciously. Because this one never forgets that he's a cat. Even when he's being anxious. Because I'm rearranging the furniture. So that's the mission. Now, the second part, the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself, is kind of along the same lines. To live consciously from the I am, to know who you are. One of the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself is to shed the layers. To let go of what people have told you that you should be. And be who you are. If that coat is too big for you, take it off. If that coat is too small for you, take it off. You don't have to live that way anymore. You get to live with who you are. And that can be a blessing and a curse. You get to live with who you are. And if you're not happy about who you are, then I encourage you to go back and look at who you think you are. Because who you think you are and who you actually are probably don't line up right now. And that's the work we do. That is the work we do. And we do it every day. You don't go to practitioner training. You don't go into practitioner training and get this magic pass. You don't go to ministerial school and get this magic pass. It's like, okay, you've become a minister. You don't have to do this work anymore. No. It's even more important that you get up every day and do that work. You get up every day and look in the mirror and you go, I am. And live consciously from that. Every day. There's no pass. There's no past. And the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself is that. And I would encourage you, maybe, because I was watching the Today Show, I recorded the Friday one, and they were talking about kindness, and how they were doing all this research on kindness, and the people who are anxious, people who are depressed, people who, one of the most loving, kind, and compassionate things that they can do is to go and practice kindness on others. And it can be as simple as holding a door. It can be as simple as smiling. Well, I would encourage you, one of the first things that you could do in the morning, especially while you're brushing your teeth, because we all do that before we leave the house generally, smile at yourself. Smile at yourself. Try that for a loving, kind, compassionate thing. Smile at yourself. See how that makes you feel. And then go smile at a stranger. See how that makes you feel. And then hold a door and see how that makes you feel. They actually, there's good research showing how it reduced anxiety, reduced depression. It's a habit I got into when I was in the band, because I played, in the marching band, I played saxophone, but a lot of my friends were in the drum and tuba section, and they couldn't manage the door themselves. So I got used to holding the door. So I do it out of habit, but it's still, even though it's a habit, it's an ingrained habit, it still feels good. It still feels good, And when I stop and I'm consciously doing it, where I'm living from that conscious I am, it's even better. So love, kindness, compassion. I encourage you to practice on yourself, which is why I want you to smile at yourself when you're brushing your teeth. But I encourage you, when you make it that default setting, when you practice on yourself, you are your own best test subject. You get immediate feedback. I'll be curious to see how that smiling at yourself while you're brushing your teeth feels. I encourage you to feedback me that one. I'm encouraging you to create a habit where your first response to anyone and everyone is love, kindness, and compassion. I'm encouraging you to create that. I encourage you to spend the time with the source of your own being. So it can also look like taking a walk. It can look like taking a nap. It can look like doing nothing. Absolutely. Take your time and do nothing. I know it's a shocking concept. We don't have to be productive 100% of the time. Probably not even 50% of the time. We are allowed to rest. Okay. But it also looks like eating dessert first. It looks like making room for joy. So yes, it's absolutely about self-care, but it's also about making room for joy. Smiling at yourself is one of it's interesting. And especially when you're paying attention, because I face myself when I do these live streams. So I'm watching myself talk to myself, and, that smile, when I do it, actually does feel really good. Especially if I am talking and I'm not paying attention, and then I look up and I catch myself smiling, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So, smile at yourself. Try it. You might like it. Okay. I also encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body. I encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is important. Your brain will work better when it's well hydrated. I encourage you to get early in your day bright light. I got to watch a little bit of the sunrise this morning. We got to the gym before the sun rose, but still got to see some of that color, which is always fun. And then in the words of Ernest Holmes, and he's got a lot of them, there's lots of books out there you can read. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. Okay? And smiling at ourselves may be one of the ways that we open our soul. I don't know how often you look in the mirror and smile at yourself. You might not ever do it, which is one of the reasons why I'm encouraging you to do it. Or you might do it all the time. But it's those kind of steps. That's how we open our soul. When we smile at strangers, we open our soul. When we listen to amazing music, we open our soul. When we listen to people's stories, we open our soul. I recently went to see A Man Called Otto. I tell you, I cried all the way through the movie, but that was definitely a soul-opening movie. Had it been anybody other than Tom Hanks, I don't know, but so I recommend it to you take your tissues. Those are all beautiful ways to open our soul. And then the more often we do it, the more conscious we become, the more we live from that I am, the more that we learn that heaven isn't a place. What we learn is heaven is a state of mind, a state of consciousness. And then heaven becomes any place. And maybe even eventually every place. Something to work towards. So, all right. I'm going to launch into the social media part. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I do encourage you, if you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on a constant contact email, and the hot links in there are hot. When it says click here now, it will either take you right to the information that you want or to the person that will get it to you. My favorite example is the soul session. It says click here now. It takes you right to the YouTube channel, right to the soul session playlist. And there's some amazing soul sessions in there. If you haven't seen the one with Cleopatra, I encourage you to see both the original one and the most recent one, which was just this Wednesday, because it was so good. So good. If you want to see somebody on fire with the passion of what they want to do with their lives, it's there. It's there. She's got it. So I encourage you to treat yourself to that, to look like what being on fire looks like, because she is a girl on fire. She's a woman on fire. So please do that. All right. And here's where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, an enchanting day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, a Sunday. Whatever kind of day you need to have. If it is a restful day, if it is a get stuff done day, if it is a throw stuff away day. I've been having a lot of those lately and it's been good. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. Because you are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in action. You are God in motion. You are a godling, to borrow Reverend Jesse's term, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. Always. So, go out and live that I am consciously. Go out and smile at the world. And especially smile at yourself. Okay. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. But before that, we will have an amazing service for you right here on Facebook Live or later up on YouTube. You can catch it both ways. If you go to the YouTube for 30 days, you get the music. It lives in perpetuity on YouTube, but we do take the music out per YouTube's rules. So that's the difference between them. All right. So take care of yourself. Know that you're loved, and I will see you soon.